Once upon a time, in a faraway land, a young man and his wife lived beside a big stone wall. On the other side of this wall lived a witch with a beautiful garden. Every day the wife would peer out at the witch's garden and the gigantic vegetables growing there. "I must have some," she said, "or I might die." "I'll take my chances with the witch," thought the husband. That night he climbed the wall and brought back a basket of greens. His wife made them into a salad and ate them with glee. The next day she demanded more, and the next even more. One dark night, as the husband gathered his stolen vegetables, the witch sprang out from behind a tree. You dare to steal from me?" She smiled her witch smile. "If you give me your firstborn child, I'll let you go free." The husband agreed. What else could he do? The day came when the couple were blessed with a baby girl. No sooner had the babe come into the world than the witch paid her a visit. She snatched the child and away she went. She called her Rapunzel. Oh, how the witch loved Rapunzel! She showered her with gifts, kittens and chocolate and dolls. Everything was fine until the day of Rapunzel's 12th birthday, and then the witch took her to a tower and locked her inside. Rapunzel was mystified. She was horrified. She was frightened. She stamped her feet. She yelled. She screamed. She called the witch bad names. Nothing helped. She was still locked up in the tower. Believe me, Rapunzel looked everywhere for a way out. She looked behind the books. Nothing there but a stone wall. She looked under the bed. Nothing there but some dust bunnies. She lifted every rug, every piece of furniture. There was no way out. Every morning that voice demanded, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel groaned, but went onto the balcony and flung her golden braid down, down, down to the witch at the bottom. The witch grasped the braid firmly and climbed up, higher and higher, until she reached the top. "I've brought your food," the witch would say. Sometimes she brought a favorite book or special candy. It was just like old times when they laughed over tea and the cookies that Rapunzel had baked. But the witch always left, and Rapunzel would be left behind in that lonely tower. Rapunzel spent her days reading or baking. She learned to make a zillion different kinds of cookies, each one more delicious than the last. One morning, a prince was passing Rapunzel's tower on his search for a princess. His belly growled, his nose twitched, his mouth watered. Was that delicious smell cookies? Cookies in that tall, strange tower? He got off his big black charger and walked all the way around the tower. There was no door or even a window, so he got back on his horse and rode away. But he kept returning. The prince was bedazzled by the smell of those cookies. Then one day when he arrived at the tower, nose twitching and mouth watering, he heard, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." To his amazement, a golden braid flew down to the ground. His eyes nearly popped out of his head when a witch grabbed that braid and climbed to the top of the tower. That night he returned and tried his luck. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Down it came. The prince huffed and puffed on his climb. He wasn't in shape like the witch, but finally he made it to the top. Rapunzel invited him in for tea and cookies. He rushed in. "Cookies! Time after time he returned to visit. He grew to like Rapunzel, even love her a little. She wasn't a princess, but she made delicious cookies. She was smart, and she made him laugh. One unlucky day, the witch spied the prince as he was leaving. She waited until he had mounted his horse and galloped away, then called in her sweetest voice, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Grabbing the braid, that witch fairly flew to the top. "You bad, bad girl!" screeched the witch. Her teeth clicked and clacked. From her bag she took a pair of sharp gardening shears and cut off Rapunzel's hair. Rapunzel floated right up to the ceiling. Finally, Rapunzel came down. She said to the witch, "Well, now you've done it, how is either one of us going to get out of here?" Then clever Rapunzel said, "You also have very long hair. Let's braid it, and I will climb down and get a big ladder and come back for you." The witch could see no other way. Rapunzel braided the witch's long black hair. Then she climbed all the way down to the bottom. Rapunzel clapped her hands. "I'm free," she said. "Free!" She stuck her tongue out at the witch watching from the balcony. "See how you like being locked up in there." Then she ran as fast as her legs would carry her, far, far away from that terrible tower. But Rapunzel wasn't the kind of girl who could leave the witch locked up without food. She thought and thought. Just how could she get the witch out without getting herself back in? "The woodsman!" she cried. "He'll be able to climb to the top and get her out." But when the woodsman arrived at the tower, all he found was a long golden braid of hair hanging from the balcony. No witch. The prince heard whispers that Rapunzel had escaped from the tower. He searched the countryside for her. When he found her, he begged for her hand in marriage. Rapunzel said, "No, thank you. I'm going to start a cookie factory." She did. Her cookies sell around the world. You've probably eaten some of them yourself. The prince found his princess and is happily married with 9 children. The witch was never heard from again.